What if I told you your city just paid $2 million for a fire truck you could have bought for just under $100,000? And now you'll wait 4 years to get it. Today we're breaking down why that happens and how you can push for it. Today's focus keyword is Chinese fire trucks. You'll see raw numbers, past strategies that led us here, and clear steps on how we can prevent this in the future. If you follow auto industry trends, hit subscribe and ring that bell. You don't want to miss deep dives like this. You can buy a mid-size pumper for about $100,000 straight from factories in Qingdao. They roll out in about 4 to 5 days, come with full warranties and overnight part support. Contrast that with US quotes, small towns like Waupun in Wisconsin shelled out about $1.8 million for a Pierce ladder truck. Bigger rigs in LA run about $1.82 million, and that's nearly 20 times more for the same basic specs. In China, you pay 50% upfront, 6 weeks later the truck is built, another 3 to 6 weeks in transit, you're fighting fires in about 4 months or so. In the US, on the other hand, you pay half, then wait 3 to 4 years. Greenwich, Connecticut ordered in 2023 and won't see theirs until about 2027. Watertown, New York paid $1.2 million in 2021. Now, why this happened? Industry consolidation from the 1980s to the 2000s, the US had dozens of small apparatus shops. Then private equity stepped in. Firms like American Industrial Partners rolled up businesses into Rev Group. Oshkosh snapped up Pierce, then Rosenboss grabbed up all the other smaller players. Now, 3 companies control about 70% of the total market. They slashed plants. Rev closed 1/3 of its capacity in 2021 and kept order books long so they don't have to invest in new lines. Backlogs swelled to over $3 billion at Rev and over $4 billion at Oshkosh by the end of 2023. The same thing happens at the dealership level, where the big auto groups absorbed all the privately owned family dealerships. When rigs age out, you can't get parts. LA's fire chief reported over 100 of 183 trucks out of service during recent wildfires. And Chicago and Atlanta can't keep 90% of their fleets ready. They hit 70% on average. That delay isn't abstract. It directly impacts response time and put lives and property at risk. Agencies signed multi-year deals to lock prices, but still saw floating price clauses bump costs mid-build. And some states demanded Buy America assembly, thinking it would spur local jobs. Instead, manufacturers assembled minimal components domestically but built most parts overseas. When backlogs peaked, departments did one-off rush orders. That only tapped small production windows and pushed prices. Each of these aimed to protect budgets or local industry. Instead, they entrenched monopoly leverage and let backlogs grow. But here are 6 steps that local municipalities can do to prevent future issues. Appoint a committee with the experience who can ask the pertinent questions. They can ask things like to insist on modular, semi-custom chassis from multiple vendors. This will let competitive bids run on individual modules, engines, pumps, cabins, so no one company can control the entire build. They can require contracts to list base price and each possible escalator. Ban floating price terms. Publicize those contracts so you can benchmark future quotes. For non-combat vehicles, pumpers, aerials, create a pooled purchase programs with several other towns or states. Bulk orders through a central agency can demand scale price breaks, like what a lot of NGOs and NATO tenders tend to do. So you can use federal grants to fund plant expansions or reopen closed lines, especially for chassis and pump modules. They can tie grants to job creation and mandatory price caps for a fixed period. Support the ongoing DOJ and FTC antitrust probes. If needed, require divestitures of brands or blow-ups of buyout deals. A healthy market needs more than just 3 suppliers. Create a government-backed warehouse network for critical components. Guarantee overnight delivery of pumps, valves, and electronics so local mechanics can fix rigs in days, not months. But what can you do today? Tell them public safety is non-negotiable. Demand oversight hearings. Ask what backlogs and price hikes they face. Publicize those figures locally. The International Association of Firefighters is pushing the DOJ and the FTC for probes. Back their calls. Every signature, every call, every shared post builds momentum. Sadly, a lot of developing countries are using Chinese companies to build and maintain their infrastructures. They do it faster and it costs twice. The ongoing trade war is now exposing the hypocrisy initiated by some of our representatives. Chinese fire trucks cost a fraction and arrive fast. The US pays nearly $2 million and wait years. Now you know why. If you care about your community, share this video. Drop your comments below. How would you fix this? I'll read every comment. Thanks for joining. Be safe out there, and I will catch you in the next episode.